Veterans are in such a unique position because we receive VA compensation, and it's up to us to decide how we are going to spend it. We can either let it waste away, or we can use the compensation as a gift from the American taxpayer. Yes, that includes ourselves, and set ourselves and our families up for success. This is a topic I genuinely, seriously, I feel very strongly about. And I'm coming to you not as a financial guru or tax person. That's not my background at all. However, I'm coming to you as someone who feels the weight to provide for his family. And I have 4 kids, and I live in a very expensive area, which is about 10 minutes south of Washington, D.C. So believe me, I understand the stress of providing for your family. I believe that disabled veterans specifically, who are rated at 50% or higher, especially 100% PNT, can live 100% debt free and be a millionaire. And I'm going to show you how to do that. If you're 100% PNT, there's really no excuse. If you're working full time, if you're IU, that, man, I hate seeing a veteran who's rated at IU, because that is some very serious disabilities that prevent you from working full time. Then obviously on the SMC scale as well. So this video are for veterans who are receiving compensation and are working full time. Pay attention, because this is some life-changing advice here from a dad. I'm going to make a scenario that I think is very relatable and use that as a template. So first, you are working full time and you make, let's just say, $80,000 a year, and you have a mortgage of $600,000 and payments of about $2,500. Let's say that for some reason you have $20,000 in credit card debt, and you have 2 vehicles, one for you and one for your spouse, both at $30,000 each. Now, the number of figures here are kind of arbitrary. I'm just making those up. But the key factor to becoming debt-free and being a millionaire, especially as a disabled veteran, is from owning your home. It's to live below your means to be able to own your home. If you live at your means, so you make this much money and you qualify for this loan, that is living at your means. You're subscribing to a paycheck to paycheck type of life. That's how I've grown up my whole life. And we all know the financial and emotional stress that paycheck to paycheck brings you. Oh, side note here, by the way, Jason and I from Veterans Info Tap, we just did a video with David Piatek, who is the expert on VA home loans. And I'm going to leave that pin below in the comments. But he talks about living below your means, saying, hey, although you qualify for this, your lifestyle, you may want to find a home right here. The second you live at your means, that's paycheck to paycheck is exactly what that means. Now, back to the scenario. Let's look at your credit card debt first. 50% with no dependents is about $1,000. It's $1,075. I would, without a doubt, put 100% of that $1,000 onto my debt every single month. You'll hear some people talk about, hey, choose the one that has the highest interest rate. That's fine, okay? You'll talk about Dave Ramsey, and I'm going to reference him a few times here. He talks about going for the lowest critical or the lowest debt and then snowballing it. Either one, I don't care. Just pay off your debt. Now, we're going to talk about snowballing, because that's what I personally did. Once those credit cards are paid off, and Dave Ramsey likes to use what's called the snowball method, you take the payment that you have been paying for those credit cards. So let's say it's $200, and you add it to your $1,000 payment from your VA compensation, which in this case would be $1,275. And then you roll that payment into the next debt, and so on and so forth. So after you pay off the credit card debt, in our scenario, you would pay off one vehicle, take that payment, add it to $1,275, pay off the next vehicle, and then boom, you're debt free, except your house. And then you start paying off your house. Now, the $1,075 is just for 50%. If you're 100% PNT and working, and any other 60, 70, 80, 90, still I recommend 100% of your VA compensation payment needs to go to debt. At least half, but my advice is all of it, okay? Tackle the debt ferociously. That's my 2 cents there. Fast forwarding to payment off your credit cards in both cars, then comes the house. Also, stay out of debt. You just paid off your credit card, you just paid off your cars. Why would you go buy a new car? Why would you put more money on your credit card? And I know someone's going to say credit cards are okay if you pay it off each month, which is absolutely true. However, the normal person just simply won't pay it off. So in theory, yes. In practice, no, because we as humans, dirty civilians, we do not have discipline, and that's just a fact. In 10 years, roundabout, someone who is 100% P&T and working full-time could very well be a millionaire, and I'm not kidding about that at all. The question then goes to retirement and how to prepare. From what I understand, you really have two safe options. Some people will say the S&P 500, and other people will say the mutual stock fund. Point is, I don't care, just pick one. Okay, do what you think is best. Me personally, I use the TSP because I'm a federal employee for the Department of the Army, and TSP has the S&P 500, which is the C fund. That works for me. That's fine, and that's it. The math is elementary level math, and it's not hard to become debt-free at all. Dave Ramsey describes not being debt-free as a behavioral problem and not a math problem. So also keep that in mind. It's our behaviors that keep us paycheck to paycheck. Veterans are in a extremely unique situation because a lot of us do receive compensation from the VA. It's up to us to figure out how we are going to spend that compensation. Hopefully, we aren't just buying 30 racks of PBR and are setting ourselves and our families up for success. At least that is my opinion. Now, to those who are 100% P&T, we're just going to round it out to $4,000, right? You got dependents, a spouse, maybe SMCK. At least half of that, which is $2,000, $2,000. At least half of that needs to go to debt. Now, this is just advice from some dude in a basement, but I'm telling you, as a husband and dad of 4, money becomes a real issue, okay? My kids are 10, 7, 1.5-ish, and then a newborn. And I'm telling you, money becomes an issue. My plan is to use VA compensation to be debt-free. I would highly recommend that to any and all veterans. And we haven't even talked about back pay. You get that lump sum of 10 grand, 20 grand, sometimes $40,000. That's a whole car right there. And you can knock out that payment in a heartbeat. And so the whole reason I'm making this one, okay, it's not a gimmick. I'm not trying to sell you some financial course. It's that I believe veterans who are disabled should live the American dream. And in my opinion, this is how you do it. You become debt-free. So all of your income outside of like car insurance and cell phone bills and utilities, stuff like that, 90% of your income could be disposable income, and you can do whatever it is you want to do with your life. And thank you for your service. In my opinion, that is what's owed to the disabled American veteran.